Belandella of the Regional Review. Put that back. Anyone else in the press? Okay. Government representatives?
Hi everybody, Gloria from Seller's office.
And I think we have a representative from Suffolk University. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Joe Ruggiero. I'm a Government Affairs and Community Affairs Coordinator over at Suffolk University. I work underneath John Lucci in the Government Affairs and Community Affairs Department. I'll be a regular presence both at both your neighborhood council meetings, just to make sure that our students are impacting the neighborhood as little as possible. I also have business cards here with a with a cell phone and an office phone. If anyone ever needs to get a hold of me, I'll come up to me after the meeting. I'll give you my card.
All right, thanks. Okay, our President's report. Seems to have a lot going on lately. I attended a Chamber of Commerce breakfast on April 1st, which the mayor spoke at, and I asked the first question, which was, don't you think we should have a visitor center in the North End with public restrooms? I brought that up last summer also, when he was at our summer party as a candidate. So I think we have the supermarket pretty well nailed down, so I'm going to push on that visitor center whenever I happen to run into them there. I think that's our next big issue there. I also attended a public market meeting on April 2nd, the year-round market in Parcel 7, and Yanni Sippis, who made that presentation, is supposed to be here tonight, so hopefully around 8 o'clock we'll be able to make that presentation. The other thing is this Saturday morning, a number of neighborhoods in Boston are going to get together from the central neighborhood. Back Bay, Beacon Hill, South End, Chinatown, and we're going to discuss common problems that the neighborhoods seem to have, and maybe speak with a louder voice about these problems that are all over the city. So we'll be reporting back on that. The other thing is the Good Neighbor Award for April went to the Friends of North End Library Garden Gals. They not only do gardening every Wednesday morning inside and outside the neighborhood, the library, but they also clean up out there. So they were nominated, and they got the picture taken, and I'm sure it'll appear in the Regional Review very soon. We also had a Greenway meeting 2 nights ago. Robert, would you like to say anything about that?
Sure. First of all, I wanted to respond to a question that Dave brought up last month that I didn't have the answer for then. It was about the lease, the Mass DOT lease, and I apologize I wasn't fully prepared for that last month. But our current lease for the Greenway and the Mass DOT ends this month, the end of this month. But there is an expectation that there will be another extension.
1 year?
1 year. And the funding for that is level, continued funding. So.
At what level, so people know?
You're going to make me go.
Mass DOT. How much has the Greenway been getting in tax money?
I
think it's a little over $2 million a year.
Okay, thank you.
From the state.
Yeah, from the state.
From the state, yes. So I wanted to answer you that. There was a board meeting on Tuesday. Those board meetings are open to the public, so anyone can come to those. I would encourage you to come. They're not terribly exciting, but they are open to the public. They used to be held over on Russia Wharf. Now they're being held in the transportation building on Kingston Street. So you can come to that. We basically just got some updates from the various staff departments. They did talk about the carousel opening, which opens tomorrow at 11 a.m. It's going to be open on weekends for a while until after Good Friday. So please show up on weekends. It should be a nice way to start spring going forward when the carousel opens. And the gala for the Greenway, which is going to be May 13th. Tickets are available on the website if anybody's interested in attending the gala for the Greenway. The updates that we had were from programming and the horticulture groups. It was the costliest winter for the Greenway, primarily due to the snow removal that we had. So it was a very expensive winter for the Greenway. Updates on our parks in the North End, they're going to be replacing the valves in the fountains in the parks. So there's going to be some construction on the fountains in the next few weeks, getting those ready for summer. The Greenway is hiring some park rangers for the entire Greenway. They've seen some reasons in terms of safety and security and destruction that they feel that there's a need to hire contracted park rangers. So they haven't hired them yet, but they are going to start that process. That is unfortunate. In terms of the plantings under the pergola, that's part of a whole new horticultural plan. They are looking at contractors now to do that work. They are going to contract that out because it's a big job. And they wanted everyone to know that the bulbs that were planted by FOTNAP in that area, they will either not be touched, or if they are touched, they will be replaced. So they are not going away. They will just be
FOTNAP, meaning what?
the Friends of the North End Parks that planted those last year. There are going to be a number of street tree replacements. There is a lot of trees that were damaged this winter again, and those are going to be replaced, the ones that are on along Cross Street. And there was a new volunteer coordinator position that started this past month. They decided they needed to hire a permanent full-time position for that. There was a part-time position before. And that was because there were over 800 volunteers working with the Greenway in the past year and over 3,000 hours. They get a lot of requests for volunteers from corporations and individuals, and they needed someone to coordinate that process. So she introduced herself. She has a deep horticultural background, and we were very happy to have her as part of the staff. That's about it.
Okay, you mentioned colorful plantings coming.
Colorful plantings are coming, yep, absolutely. We have a new horticulturalist, Lyndon Miller, who was hired to do the, not the plantings themselves, but the design. And now she's working with the Greenway and will be working with the new contractors.
Comment and a question. Comment, same as last time. I think the spending in the North End parks is too little, too slowly. When the Greenway wants to do something, they do it big, and they put an enormous amount of money into it. That doesn't happen in the North End parks. They're only moving forward now with plantings under one of the pergolas, that's my understanding, not even both pergolas. They say they were able to scrape together $25,000 for that. Somehow they came up with the $25,000, and yet we hear about millions being spent on carousels and other things. So I wish that they would make the North End Park improvements a priority, speed them up, and spend the money that should have been spent more than 5 years ago now. And my question is, Lyndon Miller, is that his name? The new horticulturist, consultant.
Consultant, yes.
So now she is under contract to do the design.
Yes, but I don't know the details.
Okay, it'd be good to know what the schedule for the design is, and it would be good to bring the design to the community at some point. Because we had lots of comments on that, supportive comments at the community meeting a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would be great to do a follow-up meeting on the design of that.
I just wanted to get back to you on the $25,000. That is, 25, yes, that is more money per square foot spent on the North End parks than any of the other parcels. That is primarily due to the fact that we have fountains in our parks, and they take a lot of maintenance
So
costs.
25,000 isn't just for the fountains under the pergola, it's also for other things.
It's also for other things as well, yes.
Does the contract to plant under the pergolas affect the cost? Has the cost gone up because of the contract? Whereas before it was going to be done, I assume, by staff?
I'm gonna have to ask him.
All right,
I'll get back to you.
thank you.
Robin, one question. Any need for benches?
No, they did not update us on the benches this meeting, but I can ask about that.
Okay, thanks, Robin. Okay, we since have Kathy Frangelo of Council Lamartina's office. Anything, Kathy? You want to sit
The
down?
next meeting. Yeah, I was just waiting for everybody
Okay.
to talk, so I just came from another meeting in Boston.
Okay, and Nicole Leo from the mayor's office?
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everyone that Boston Shines is May 10th. Please sign up. Tony is here. We're working this year with the chamber. We're trying to get a good group together. So far, we have a really poor, limited showing. I know that people want to do it. I know that it's a month away, but I need people to sign up. If we don't get the people to sign up, we will not have the tools, the materials, the t-shirt, the gloves. Tony's getting us food and other stuff. We will not have it.
Breakfast and lunch.
So we really, really, really encourage people to sign up. I know Jim has already signed up, a couple of other people, but we really would like you to come and help clean the neighborhood that day. You can talk to me, Tony, but you have to sign up on the city's website, which is on the paper that Tony is handing out right now.
If you are shy and do not like to sign up on the internet, I brought a sign-in sheet, just for you.
So please come, please help us, but please sign up.
And you are going to have coffee?
We had coffee last year too.
Okay, what's the special one? I guess it's the chamber.
Well, the
would you have
Fairmont is gonna be serving the continental breakfast, and local restaurants are gonna be donating different things for lunch. We're gonna have paninis, we're gonna have pizza, we're gonna have a whole bunch of things.
So we just hope that you sign up. Yes.
Good question.
Question not about that topic. The Mayor Walsh is now apparently holding conversations in.
Yeah, they're working their way from this part of the city down.
Are they
There
called
will
something
be
like Monday
Mondays with the
evening?
mayor.
Mondays with the Mayor.
Yeah, there will be one for this section of the city.
I accidentally went on to Channel 24. Channel 24 is a city TV station on cable. I assume it's probably online as well. You can probably watch the shows online, I'm not sure. But I got on there accidentally. I otherwise don't typically watch Channel 24. And it was the Alston Bright.
Right, that was the first one.
And it was a terrific forum, amazing. If you
Yeah.
want to know the differences at City Hall now with the new mayor, if you want to know what this mayor's priorities are, and especially how he wants to work with the communities, watch Channel 24, watch these
Mondays with the mayor.
Mondays with the mayor conversations. He brings his entire cabinet and the BRA director into these meetings, so everybody's there. All the questions get answered that have answers at that point, and then he promises to answer
Yeah,
questions.
they'll have one for the downtown neighborhoods. They're working their way through the city. The next one will be in Roxbury, and then they'll make their ways. They're once a month.
You
I
also
think,
get
right
a
now.
terrific idea of what other neighborhoods are facing, and the huge overlap, obviously, between the problems that we have here, the concerns we have here, and the concerns they have in all the other neighborhoods as well. So please watch Channel 24 Mondays with the mayor.
The mayor.
And it's really very informative.
And stay tuned for when he comes to this part of the city.
So those are live broadcasts as it's going on?
No, they tape them, so it's repeated. So
It's
that,
repeated
the one in
over and
Alston
over.
happened, I think it was either late January or early February. I think maybe February, so they'll replay them.
Yeah, I just saw it Friday night.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and now we have an announcement by Julia Mayer of the Elliott School.
Thank you all so much for having me today. I haven't had a chance to meet a lot of you. I'm Julia Mayer. I started in September as the Manager of Development and External Relations for the Elliott. And I'm here today specifically to talk about our plan to extend our Learning Day next year. I appreciate your fitting me in at the last minute. We are planning to add an hour to our day next year, specifically so that we can continue on this really successful path that we've had over the last few years since Tracy started. You all don't need me to tell you that story. You've been here, you've been supporting the Elliott. And as we're expanding and we're adding more students, more classrooms, more teachers, we want to make sure that all of the students are getting the services that they need. So over the course of the last year, our faculty and staff have worked with the National Center on Time and Learning to put together a plan to add an hour to our day that's going to be split between adding 10 minutes per core subject, core academic area, and then also setting aside a period where students will receive either enrichment, getting to do art and theater and music, and all of those things that give kids a well-rounded education, but also getting intervention or acceleration services. So if kids are falling behind their peers and they need a little help catching up, or if they are way out in front and they're not being challenged in their classes, making sure that they're getting services for that as well. Our families have seen our plan, a slightly more detailed plan than I'm going to give you tonight just because of our time constraints. But there's more information on northendwaterfront.com, and I'm here now specifically because we are applying for a state grant to fund this extended learning time. And at this point, I feel like it really makes sense for our community to be involved in the conversation. And so I just wanted to be here, answer any questions that you have off the bat. You're also welcome to email me at any time. I brought some copies of the North End Waterfront article, which I'll leave up front here if anybody is looking for my contact information. But any questions about that up front? I know I just ran through a plan really quickly.
What are the school hours?
So we're hoping that it's going to be an 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock day. I'm not sure if that's going to work with Boston's bus schedule. It's a little bit determined by them, so it may be 8:15 to 3:15 or 8:30 to 3:30. We're hoping to really push it earlier so that kids can still participate in the after-school activities that they're doing now.
What is it now?
Right now, we are 8:40 to 2:55, and last year we were 9:25 to 3:25. So we went from a 6-hour day last year to a 6-hour and 15-minute day this year, and we're hoping to be a 7-hour day next year.
Do you have the teacher support for this?
We do. We, as an innovation school, we actually have the flexibility to explore adding time to our day or using time differently. When we brought this proposal to the teachers, they do have to sign a work election agreement every year, and the vote to accept the work election agreement was 22-5. So overwhelming support. The teachers really feel like this is going to give them a chance to get the students the services that they need and make sure that every kid is reaching that next level every day.
Right. So that's the value of an innovation school where you have that flexibility.
Absolutely. And I know you all supported us when we went for that status. I wasn't here yet then, so you know more about it than I do, but absolutely having that this year gave us the opportunity to work with the National Center on Time and Learning and come up with a really robust plan.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What percentage of this population plus sources walks?
You know, I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head. I can tell you based on what I see in the cafeteria in the mornings that I think we're about half and half. But I can look up what the exact numbers are and get back to you next month. The nice thing about this is that often the kids who really need extra time can't stay after school to work with their teachers because they have to be on the bus home. And this way we'll make sure that all of the kids are getting that extra attention.
How many students are there?
Right now, we're 400 students. We're going to grow to 500 next year. So we're expanding really rapidly. I don't know what our final number is going to be, but we're adding more classes and we're expanding to 3 buildings over the next few years. Yeah.
Is there anything our organization can do to support you in the grant application?
I don't think that there's anything that we need at this point. It is formally required that we let our neighborhood know, so I'm trying to do that in any possible way I can. So inviting me to come speak today was a big piece of that, and I appreciate it.
Someone asked me recently about physical education, whether there are physical education classes at the Elliott,
Yep.
and what facilities do you use?
So we move kids around quite a bit. You probably see our students walking around the North End all day. So they get quite a bit of physical education and physical activity just moving between our different buildings. But we do use the Nazaro Center for physical education if the kids can't go outside. We use the parks behind Stariti Rink, and we use our playground here at 16 Charter for the younger students who are over here. But the kids do get recess every day. I think unless it's below 26 degrees or something. You see them outside all the time. And they get physical education once a week, at least. Some of the classes get more.
Thanks very much, Julie.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
You want to start here?
Sure. I just wanted to say we have a couple of new members here tonight, and I'd like to welcome them. We're very happy to have them. And the renewals keep coming in. There's still a few people who haven't renewed, but hopefully they will soon. And the other nice development is all of a sudden, we've started getting donations. And in the past month, we've gotten over $250 in donations, which is very nice, and hopefully that is something that will continue.
Thank you. Okay, Ian, I know you've got a touch of the flu, but can you give a report?
Good evening. Pardon my voice. Parks and Open Space Committee meets the first Tuesday of every month here at 7 o'clock. And if you care about our limited open space, please come. And tonight we have a special guest from the Parks Department, Michelle, who is the coordinator for design and construction. And she will be answering some questions that our committee has put together regarding the upcoming budget and expenditures of the department. So hopefully you'll stay here till 8:30 and listen to our concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Victor, ZLC.
Yes, thanks, Jim. I have a brief report of the Zoning, Licensing, and Construction Committee, ZLC. Looking back to March 25th, when we had our last ZLC meeting, there were 3 items on the agenda. 14 to 16 Salem Street involved the sale of Ferrara's restaurant to the owner of Go Bananas restaurant. There were no abutters who raised issues. It seemed that there was no overall impact to the neighborhood. Frank Shire, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, said that the restaurant would stay exactly the same except for the menu. That is, no construction, no remodeling, but it will be a Mexican restaurant instead of an Italian restaurant. Based on the fact that there were no abutters with issues and that there seemed to be no overall impact on the neighborhood, the ZLC committee recommended to the executive committee a no objection letter, and it was so voted. So that is, if the members recall, 2 years ago, the members voted to give authority to the executive committee to write such a no objection letter in those cases that I've just described. And we have written 19 of them since that went into effect 2 years ago. The next item on the agenda of ZLC on the 25th was 1 Mechanic Street, which is on NEWRA's agenda today. And the third item was 106 Prince Street, which was also handled under the no objection procedure. It was a first floor change from 1 large apartment to 2 smaller apartments, but still leaving, I believe, 700 or so square feet on each one. And that was the subject of a no objection letter. Now, for the ZLC meeting to come, which is April 22, the only item we have left, that we have so far, is 26 Charter Street to expand an existing head house. The height overall, including the expansion, will be 48.3 feet, so it will be under the 55-foot height limit. If anyone has any particular questions about it, the attorney is Attorney Toscano. He, however, will be in Aruba on April 22, so contact him before April 22, which is the hearing date, and his client is coming along. And then there is one other item that we have not been contacted by the person who was going before the Zoning Board of Appeals on April 22. We learned from Nicole that Kevin Laughlin, the chiropractor, 406 to 418 Commercial Street, is adding chiropractor and physical therapy to a location that does not yet permit that as a use. I don't know whether that's moving to a new location or
No, it's staying there.
it's the same, so
Staying in that location.
it's not too clear All we have is the notice of hearing, and which is April 22, which is the date of our next ZLC meeting, and he has not contacted us.
So he's legalizing a long-standing condition.
Adding.
it sounds-
Perhaps.
He's adding, he's
Oh,
adding
he's
it.
adding.
He told me he was adding it.
Okay, thanks.
Basically, I don't know, because the hearing notice doesn't fit into
All
that.
he's doing is adding the person that's doing physical therapy in his office, that's it.
Yeah.
He's not doing anything to the office, there's just another person that will be working in the office.
So he has to change the occupancy to add them.
What's that?
Okay, thank you.